first, second lap done. Oh no, sorry, he made a mistake in the first sector, didn't he? He made a mistake in the first sector. That's why he's down in 11th on the grid. Jake Dennis, though, starting the season so strongly. Dennis, first and 2 second places, was running towards the front wheel of Hyderabad before he got
Welcome along, everybody, to this Formula E watch along. My name's Aaron. If you are new here, welcome to the channel. If you're a returning subscriber or viewer, welcome back. Okay, so we've had a bit of a day with Formula E. We're going to have 17 cars take the start of this race because the two Mahindras and the two Apt Cupras have been withdrawn due to rear suspension issues. So apparently it's flexing of the suspension itself, which probably isn't very helpful or safe. So 4 cars immediately out of this race. And then in qualifying, Edo Mortara and Sam Bird crashed. And they are now, well, Sam Bird is now out of the race before it's even started. But Edo Mortara will start from the pit lane. Hello to SHT in the chat. It is the underdogs on the front row. So Sasha Fenestraz has taken his first pole position. And alongside him is Max Gunther in the... So you've got the Nissan on pole and the Maserati in second. Behind them are Nick Cassidy and Mitch Evans. And Evans was looking like he was going to get onto the front row, but then there seemed to be a mistake on his lap in the semi-final against, I think it was Fenestraz. No, sorry, it was Gunther. So he starts 4th. Championship leader Pascal Wehrlein is 6th. Race winner in India 2 weeks ago, Jean-Eric Verne, is 5th. And winner of the opening race of the season, Jake Dennis, is 14th. So Porsche have kind of, again, not had the qualifying pace. So 60 minutes before we even start. Yeah, pretty insane, isn't it? It's absolutely mad. But that's Formula E for you. It is just a little bit wild. Question will be how many more DNFs we will get in this race. Well, the way the track is set up, and it's this problem corner turn 9, it's turn 8 and turn 9, so there's a bump sort of in the middle of it. I can see us having a couple of safety car periods, to be honest. And they say it could be the fastest Formula E race ever, but I think it's actually going to be the opposite. So if you think of, like in Formula One terms, tracks, so take Baku for example. it's really fast. Like the fast sections there are really fast, but they also come with the really high risk of those safety car triggering accidents. So this is going to be a real well, it could be wild and crazy and exciting for all the overtaking, but it could also be a bit messy. And we saw in Hyderabad that there was debris just left on the track, and I really didn't feel comfortable with that. And I think if they're doing that this weekend, it's going to be a little bit messy. So hi to Nikki N1 in the chat. Thanks for joining in. No Mahindras. Yeah. It's a shame because you don't want to see drivers and teams just pulling out for no reason. And, to lose 4 cars because of it is crazy. It's that's almost a quarter of the field gone in one full swoop. What's your takes on the F1 preseason testing so far? Red Bull look ominously good. Ferrari are there or thereabouts. Mercedes are a little bit behind, but I think they expected that, and they will probably go with that updated side pod philosophy probably around Barcelona time, so maybe 5 or 6 races into the season. But they're going to be much better off than they were last year. Aston Martin look good. I don't think we've seen the best of Alpine yet, but McLaren are really in trouble. I can see them having a difficult race in Bahrain again, like they did last year, where they kind of ran around at the back and just weren't very good, to be honest. I've been happily pleased with the progress that Williams seem to have made. I think they're going to be a little bit closer to the midfield battle than they were last year. So, it's looking like a really good season. We're going to have, hopefully, 2 teams fighting at the front. And then also, hopefully, 3 cars, perhaps, with Mercedes joining in. And the midfield looks like it's going to be pretty close as well. Now McLaren with more issues. Yeah, they had issues last year, didn't they? And they had a decent car. I mean, it had its peaks and troughs. And sometimes it was good, sometimes it was bad. But they'll get on top of it. They're a good outfit. And I think they're struggling because everyone else has upgraded all their facilities, and they're just kind of a step behind everybody else. And Aston Martin, of course, well funded, so that's going to be making a difference for them. They're checking the brakes section on the car. Yeah, it might just be an inherent braking issue. It could just be Bahrain specifically draws that out of it because the high temperatures, the heavy braking zones, the configuration of the certain corners, the way it's laid out. It could just be exacerbating a problem that's there but won't rear its head at many other tracks. So let's move away from Formula One for the moment. I'm sure we'll come back to it at some point. We've got a Formula E race on our hands. I will get the hopefully the live timing up on the screen shortly. Let's have a look at the poll for who wins in Cape Town. So we've got a couple of votes for Sasha Fenestraz and a vote for Max Gunther. Personally, I can see Mitch Evans coming through to win this. The Jaguar powertrain looks good. Evans is a really tidy performer, and yeah, I think he's just going to get the job done. That's my pick. Dragovic to do Bahrain in place of Stroll. Yeah, that's looking more and more likely. Apparently, Stroll has injured both his wrists, and as someone who has injured their wrist in their life, not a fun thing to recover from. So, and certainly not something you'll be driving a Formula One car anytime soon with. So, for Lance, obviously we wish him the best, a speedy recovery. And no matter what you think of him, you don't really want to see anyone getting injured and having to miss out. So I can't see him back in the car until maybe Australia. Probably missed the first 2 rounds. Evans won't need to worry about his teammate crashing into him. No, he will not. Sam Bird has taken himself out before he can turn Mitch Evans' race upside down completely. 17 cars on the grid. Let's tune in. I'm going to turn my volume up a wee bit more. Edo Mortara will start from the pit lane. I'm going to end the pole. And let's get the watch along screen up and running. And let's get everything else sorted. I'm going to get the timing up on my other screen as well, so that I can see it. And then I'm going to try and have the chat. Let's wonder if, no, let's just wondering if in OBS I can pop it out and have it on its own, but I don't think that will work. So let's do that, and then I can see Neo in the points again. Hello to WoHIV in the chat. How are you doing, my friend? We have some timing ready to go. So only 17 cars. So it's all there already. We can just bump that up a wee bit. There we go. It's all front and centre. You'll get a little bit of the track map there. The timing is slightly ahead of the stream. So, right. We've got cars lining up on the grid on the screen. Okie dokie. Sasha Fenestraz on pole position. It's a slightly crooked. It might just be, yeah, might just be the barrier, but it's definitely not straight. Here we go. The lights are coming on in Cape Town. 5 red lights, and they're green. Evans immediately moving to cover Jean Verne. Cassidy into second place. Great start from Fenestraz, but there comes Gunther down the outside for turn 2-ish. All side-by-side action. And the two Andretti Avalanches are right at the back there. That's something we didn't expect to see earlier in the season. It seems weirdly small, the field. Gunther's got himself back up into second. Evans has managed to hold on to fourth. And now the train and the snake begins to work its way around the track. Buemi has jumped Verline. Seems to have a yellow flag. Oh my gosh! That's Verline! And he's hit Buemi! The championship leader has clattered into Sebastian Buemi. The left front is broken. It's no points for Pascal Verline. What an error to make. What a disastrous error. I said this could be a messy race, and on lap 1 we've got a yellow flag and the championship leader is out. He's in the escape road. There's nothing popped up on the timing. Just a yellow flag at turn 10. No points for Dennis in the last race. Now no points for Verline. Verline become... Is that a donkey or a bull? Hello to Aries. Full course yellow. Gunther has overtaken Fenestraz there. On the timing on the screen, he's gone into the lead. I'm sure he's given the place back. That's Mortara stopped as well. That's at the little roundabout for the chicane. Yeah, they're just saying on the commentary that it says Gunther's ahead, and on the timing, yeah. I'm wondering if Fenestraz has backed off and then... Oh, there's the replay. Gee, me. Verline completely missing his breaking point and smashing into Buemi. Buemi's lucky to be still in the race. So yeah, back to the Gunther Fenestraz thing. I reckon that Fenestraz has seen the full course yellow, lifted, and then Gunther has taken avoiding action and gone past him. We've got the safety car deployed as well now. Probably to get rid of the... Oh, the camera got an absolute faceful there on the replay. Didn't quite hear what Buemi was saying on the radio, but wow, what a start. That for Jake Dennis, this is a huge opportunity. If he can get himself into the points, that is massive, because he's still currently P2 in the standings, I believe. Let's just have a look. He is, but he is 18 points adrift. So if he can get himself into... Are they fixing Verline's car there? Or is that just... I think that's just to move it, because it's not... They're not able to move it. Mortara is out of the race. So Dennis, if he can get a really good scoop of points, then he'll significantly close the gap. But when he gets hit by Degrassi in London Season 2, today gets hit by Verline. Yep. Just... That's racing, unfortunately. There was no malice from Verline. He just made a mistake. And that's what happens. So, a shame. Because Verline's been driving superbly. He kind of got away with one, really. In Hyderabad. There's the replay of the start. That's Gunther going around the outside of Cassidy. That was a nice move to keep to regain second place there, side by side down into the chicane. 15 runners remaining. Yeah, it's a race of attrition. It could be, you know, if you can just keep your car pointing in the right direction and keep all four wheels on it, you're gonna get a good haul of points. Woe HIV, your prediction of Neo in the points is looking very good. Dan Tictum is currently in 7th place as we watch the replay of everyone filing their way through the first braking zone again. This is the onboard of Verline. Buemi, yeah, great launch from him. That's how he's got himself ahead of the German. Verline compromised on the outside line. Buemi just... Yeah, just gets himself ahead. This on board with Da Costa. He's got around the outside of Nato. Haven't seen anything saying safety car in yet. We're going to get a few added laps because of this now. Buemi actually went really deep there. That's quite interesting. He was very late on the brakes. Almost ran into Vern ahead of him. And I think Verline got sucked in and did the same. It just went catastrophically wrong for him. Buemi is still with us, I think. So we will see how he gets on. Still behind the safety car. Well, while I've got a lull in the race, I am recording my Formula One predictions later, maybe today or tomorrow on Sunday. So in the chat, if you want me to make a prediction in that video, leave me something for me to predict and I'll include it in the video. So you have control over what I'm putting my neck out on. So if you want me to predict a winner of a certain race, put it in there. Put it in the chat and then I can screen grab it and it can be included in the video. SHT saying Van Dorn needs to step up his game. Where is he? He's 11th. So at the moment, I think he'll be okay. Just got to keep things all on the car, I suppose. Safety car coming in at the end of this lap. So let's see. So Gunther is still in the lead. I'm not sure how he's done that. We haven't seen a replay of that. So Fenestrez seems to have been almost conned out of the lead here, which is disappointing. Yeah, Vern being 5th, that's good for DS Penske, but not so good for Van Dorn because it shows that the pace is there in the car. So here we go, restart incoming as they weave their way across the line. Gunther leads the way, Fenestraz right on his tail. Make sure everyone's... Oh, nearly a bit of contact there. I think that was the other Porsche of Da Costa, almost sliding into the back of Dan Ticktum. And Fenestraz right on the case of Gunther. He would probably not be very happy about losing the lead. Yeah, the Van Dorn situation does come from qualifying. He hasn't... I don't think he's made the duels yet at all this season. Do I think Fenestraz was overtaken secretly? Yes, I do. I think there was a bit of a Fenestraz lifting off for the full course yellow and Gunther maybe taking avoiding action and sneaking past. But no one spotted it. And really the team should have given the place back. So across the line for lap 7. Sete Camera and Buemi have taken attack mode. So that's going to start driving this race along a little bit more in terms of strategy. The collision between Buemi and Verline is under investigation, but I think it's pretty clear who's at fault for that. I think Verline will get a grid drop for that. Sam Bird was due for a grid drop today, but obviously he just didn't start the race. That's one way to avoid your grid drop. Jake Dennis also had a grid drop because he impeded, I think it was Van Dorn in fact, in qualifying, so ended up behind the Belgian. Evans is under investigation for overpower. This problem is going to rear its head again. Now remember, back to Hyderabad, Buemi lost his podium because of this, and there seems to be a bit of an issue with it in terms of it's not really overpower, it's actually underpower. That's not good for Mitch Evans. All my predictions. So we've got Van Dorn, Dennis and Lotterer now all in attack mode. So we might begin to see some overtakes from those guys. How far behind are they? So Van Dorn is chasing Jake Hughes. It's about 0.6 of a second. The last time they went through a marker point. Buemi's actually got himself ahead of Sete Camera. Even with the damage to the rear of that car, he's still got some decent speed in it. Evans is right on the tail of Cassidy there, as is Rast on Verb, but he's gone a bit deep there, the McLaren. Norman Nato has now gone for attack mode, so has Vern and Ticton. Now Dennis is under investigation for a technical infraction. Stewart's having a wonderful time today. Just want to investigate everybody. Please, Maserati, don't give me false hope. Well, it's not false yet. Or at the moment, I'd say. Because Max Gunther is in the lead. Evans has got a drive-through penalty for overpower. Oh, they just showed the replay. Yeah, and it's exactly what I thought it was. Fenestraz and Evans now into attack mode. But Evans, his race is about to be completely torpedoed. The drama has begun. The drama well and truly began on the opening lap, didn't it? But it's all going to kick off in the steward's office because I can see the teams not being happy with this overpower problem. If it's the same as the Bohemi one, because remember Jaguar provide Envision with their power unit, so it could be a similar issue. But sadly, the rules probably don't leave the stewards any wiggle room. The prediction might be in the mud now. Yeah, completely in the mud. I have absolutely cursed Mitch Evans, who takes his drive-through penalty on this lap. He's tumbling down the order. Where is he going to pop out? Just having a look to see where his little dot has gone on the track map. I think he's going to come out. I think he's going to come out last. Gunther has taken attack mode. They're side by side, Sasha, Fenestraz, and Gunther's held the lead. Fenestraz also in attack mode, but he hasn't been able to regain track position. So that's massive for Gunther. But Nick Cassidy now in the lead. More bad luck for Mitch and a disaster class for Jaguar. Yeah, they've got the car. I mean, Jaguar are fast turning into the Ferrari of Formula E, aren't they? They've got the car and they've got the drivers, but they just have none of the fortune and, you know, things in the race never really seem to go their way. They've had Sam Bird take them both out in Hyderabad when they looked set for at least a podium. Then Bird out today in qualifying, and now Evans with an overpower drive-through penalty. Cassidy asking for a check on the gap. Gunther for the win, says Woe HIV. Might not be wrong there. I mean, overtaking hasn't appeared so far that straightforward, but we're still only 12 laps into this race. There will be laps added on. There's still a long way to go. Only takes one lock-up and somebody else is in the barriers as well. Rene Rast now going for attack mode. It's interesting that the attack mode is on the outside of a fast corner as they head onto the the start straight. The stewards seem to have calmed down. No one else is under investigation at the moment. That's good. We don't really like stewards' interference. Ever. Well, unless it's completely necessary, of course. Jake Dennis is still in attack mode. Or he might have taken all of his attack mode, actually. He's got a couple of, about a minute and a half of attack mode remaining. He's just set the fastest lap. Cassidy now goes for attack mode, as does Gunther. And Gunther has got Vern right on his tail there. No way through into the first braking zone. Cassidy retains the lead ahead of Fenestraz. And now I can see the Envision driver moving away, but he's going to have to use that energy to do so. That's a bit of a concern for him. Dennis has just moved up ahead of Jake Hughes. I think Jake Hughes has taken attack mode, yes. And so has Van Dorn. For some reason on my timing page on my other screen, it's not showing me attack mode, so I'm just relying on what I can see on YouTube. Got a fastest lap from Da Costa now. Ticktum still holding on for 7th. He is, yeah. And what's the gap back to Van Dorn? Not much. 0.4 of a second last time it changed. And he's a couple of seconds behind Da Costa. So he's now taking attack mode there as I speak on the screen. Whoa, someone sideways. That was Da Costa very sideways into the first braking zone. No radio there from Rene Rast as it pops up on the screen. Radio silence. Got a replay of Jake Hughes. What's going on here? Oh, he's going to go very deep. Oh, he's just missed the wall and he loses that place to Van Dorn. That's how he fell behind the Belgian. Fenestraz right on the tail of Cassidy. The attack mode. We've seen this so far this season. This has kind of been a trend, hasn't it? That even though a car's in attack mode, they're not clearing off in the way they used to. You'd assume attack mode, all that extra power. Yes, you've got to use the energy, but the extra power, you just move away. And regularly we see drivers in the midfield set the fastest lap time as they take attack mode. But now, the guy at the front, which is Nick Cassidy, not really able to get away from Fenestraz. And they've gapped Gunther by about 0.8 of a lap. Sorry, 0.8. Sorry, now a second back to Gunther. And Fenestraz looking fairly well set. If they can continue to move away from Gunther, what was the last lap time? So Cassidy did a 10.4. Fenestraz was 0.3 quicker, even though he wasn't in attack mode. And Gunther on a 10.2. There goes Jean-Eric Verne for attack mode. Da Costa moving into P4. Jake Hughes also into attack mode. Now to lap 17. Gunther for the podium. Slight amendment to the earlier prediction. Aries clearly supporting Nissan with the lightning bolt. They're looking pretty good, I'd say, Nissan. And suddenly it seems a long time ago that Porsche were just waltzing their way to 3 consecutive victories with their powertrains, and the double for Wehrlein in Diriyah. Fenestraz asking, well, suggesting that he attacks soon, so attack mode for him, he's still got to take. I think he's got, what, 3 minutes of it left? But the team saying to calm down. That's a DS Penske on the back of a Porsche, I would think. That's Da Costa and Verne. And, well, we know that these two don't always like to play nicely from their time as DS to Cheetah teammates. What are the odds that this ends all in tears? Verne's last lap time was a 1:09. In fact, he's just crossed the line and done a 10.1. But Da Costa and Verne are actually quicker than the lead trio, so they're slowly closing in and making it more of a 5-way fight for the win. And given my record for predictions in this race, I'm not going to put my words on anyone. That was Verne tapping the wall and losing ground into the first. Jake Dennis has now got a drive-through penalty for not respecting minimum tyre pressure. Lotter under the safety what are they? The stewards. They're at it again. Safety car procedure investigation for Lotterer. So Avalanche and Andretti are about to see their race completely torpedoed as well. I mean, the tyre pressures, that's something that, well, it could be a basic error from the team. Oh, Verne almost in the wall there. Dennis through the pit lane now. He'll fall to the back. He'll join Mitch Evans there. Terrible day for the championship leaders. Yeah, I mean, let's have a look who's in. So Buemi is the guy in. Jev is in third, level with Buemi, but ahead because he has that race win in Hyderabad. So where's Verne at the moment? He's fifth. That would give him 10 points. It's not really enough. He needs to win this race. It's a very long pit lane here in Cape Town as well. Lotterer got a safety car investigation, but Gunther overtakes on the full course yellow safety car. Nothing happens. Yeah, that is really weird, isn't it? Really weird. But I suppose at the moment, Fenestraz has got himself back in front. I mean, he shouldn't really have had to do so. So, I mean, they were saying before the race, you might not want to be out in front because constantly punching a hole in the air, and the guys behind can just sort of lift and coast a bit more because of the slipstream. So, in that sense, it might have been a little bit of a blessing in disguise for Fenestraz. And look how close he is now to Cassidy. If it was a bit wider down into the first braking zone, maybe he could lunge him on the brakes, but nothing. Oh, here we go. Gunther under investigation, overtook under full course yellow, and that is Gunther. He's gone deep, and he's crabbing. He's crashed out of the race. And Aries, I feel your pain. Maserati have crumbled again. The investigation is no longer necessary. he's out of the race.
He's also under investigation for overtaking under full course yellow, which we saw. That's how he took the lead away from
Gunther made the error again. He did.
No investigation necessary for hitting the wall down at turn 1. We've seen a few drivers.
Full course yellow.
And here's what happened to Gunther.
Just, oh, he did what Vern did. He hit the wall, but just hit it so much harder. And is it the right rear? Yeah, it's the right rear. I think that's buckled. Oh. So that's me and WoHIV who have had prediction-making privileges.
Now that's interesting.
What's happened here? Fenestras has just lost 2 more places behind the full course yellow.
Full course yellow was called. And I think he'll have got away with that one. But Da Costa is now into second place.
Da Costa's now second. What is going on with the full course yellows? And they're absolutely shafting Fenestras. He's just taken attack mode.
Attack mode at that point as well. But now he can't use that extra power. Because they're going to...
Maserati accursed. What happened to... Yeah, what did happen to Fenestras? We need a replay of this.
I don't know how close they were at full course yellow, but it could also be open up the chance for a penalty somewhere. We need to see a replay of that, but that was very, very close. A lot of them shuffled up there,
So we'll have a look at it here. Full course yellow will be ending...
What is going on with my timing screen? It's saying that several cars have stopped. And now they're back again.
Both went through, and then attack mode happened. And now full course yellow is ending. The race gets back...
The race is back underway. This race is wild. The timing screen is just telling me nonsense.
From the marshals, but
What's going to happen here? Because that's slightly ahead.
he is still leading. Antonio Felix Da Costa started 11th, and his son
The leaderboard is a glitch. Yeah.
Bern is third. Sasha Fenestras started first, is now down in 4th.
Because it showed me Cassidy and Da Costa stopped, and I'm thinking they've had a collision.
It's going to be a tough one to call because I think we've got a long way to go. But the pole sitter has not won the race for the last 7 Formula E races. It's remarkable.
So Fenestras right on the tail of Vern there. He must be fuming.
There will of course be extra laps, I imagine, because of that safety car period earlier on. So we'll find
Dennis and Lotta have got
out a little later.
lots of energy. Well, I say lots of energy. They've got more energy than... Well, they do have lots of energy. Lotta are 36, Dennis 36.
Look how close they are. Coming across the line now to start lap 23.
Da Costa's got a little bit more energy than Cassidy, and Verner's got more energy than Da Costa.
Fenestras to the outside. Bern nearly into the back. Rast is in there as well.
And this train goes all the way down to... I think it goes down to Van Dorn, or is that Tictum at the end of it? Van Dorn... Yeah, no, it is Van Dorn. Looking at the timings. Yeah, Van Dorn's at the end of this train. Cassidy could be on for the win here, yeah, but don't predict anything because anyone who makes a prediction, that person immediately gets ruined. 5-second time penalty for Andre Lotterer.
you don't risk not being able to take it at the end of the race. So it definitely was a strategic play by the guys, but I don't know if
Da Costa's still got a minute of attack mode remaining, so that's quite interesting. He might use that quite late. There's going to be added laps, so maybe he'll hang on until then. Cassidy covering the inside into the corner where Buemi got walloped.
Bern and Fenestras, so he wants to try and build a gap. Cassidy was actually defending a little going into Moulet Point at turn 10. Here's his radio.
Buemi's worked his way back up to P8 now. He's just passed Jake Hughes.
The guys behind you. Not just any old guys. Antonio Felix Da Costa and Shoderick Bern. 2 champions. You have more
Fenestras looking down the outside. Has he made the corner just?
in there from Fenestras at turn 1.
Both Penske's now well into the points. Yeah, potentially they could both be on the podium.
Through the left-handers of 2 and 3. Here's Fenestras' radio.
So the Buemi and Verline incident investigated after the race. Gunther will be investigated after the race. He'll probably be slapped with a grid drop, I would expect, or at least a reprimand for overtaking under full course yellow. But I wouldn't be surprised to see a grid drop for the next race. Oh, there goes Da Costa!
He's looking to the inside. Coming
He sweeps by!
Da Costa. Has he managed to pull it off?
He takes the lead of the Cape Town E-Prix.
This overtake.
A pure overtake. Brilliant move from Antonio Felix Da Costa.
E-Prix. Now how quickly does he try and get away and try to take attack mode? Those are the 2 questions. Doesn't do it this lap.
Doesn't take attack mode this time, but look at him pulling away.
safety car, it could ruin his entire race. So he
Wow, indeed, Aries. Yeah, that was superb. He has his own sort of Kimi Räikkönen moment. Tells the team to let him do it. There he goes. Just absolutely blasts past.
So scary. I cannot put in perspective for you guys.
That was a stunning overtake.
It's so narrow.
Here we go, on board. Just pulls out of the slipstream and see you later.
Massive bump here.
Oh my word! And look at him disappearing. He's 1.3 seconds up the road.
He's already a second clear. And Vern has gone past Cassidy as well. What is happening to Cassidy?
So Cassidy drops down to third position in the Envision. Vern,
This race has just completely come to Vernon da Costa. And Porsche are looking at another victory this season, but this time it could be Antonio Felix da Costa, who takes attack mode now. Will he come out ahead of Vern? He does.
and he stays ahead. And
Just.
Costa started 11th on the grid. Vern is right behind him, but at the moment things just keep getting better and better and better for the Portuguese driver out in front. Only once in his Formula E career, he missed it. Da Costa missed it.
Da Costa, he missed the attack mode.
Activate attack mode.
He hasn't got it.
Through the,
That's for sure costing the race.
That's blown it.
has he got the
Maybe
energy
even a podium at this rate.
to build the gap again? And
This race just keeps turning. He's got less energy than Jean-Eric Verne. Cassidy is about equal. He's going to have to try and reopen the gap. He needs about a second to kind of make it work. He was, what, 1.2, 1.3 ahead? So if he can push for another lap. Oh, is there someone gone deep at the back there? No, I think they were just... Might have been a lock-up. Verne could get him. Verne's absolutely going to have this now. What is going on in this race? It's absolutely bonkers, isn't it? So we've got a replay now. It's very small on the screen. Let's have a look. Seemed to be alright. They're saying that he only hit 2 of the 3 loops within the track that you need to hit. So he must have missed the first one. Potentially back-to-back for Verne. But now you've said it, yeah, that's not looking good for Jean-Eric Verne if you've put his name on it. I think Da Costa has gone for it now because on the timing he has fallen behind Verne. So I think he's about to take the attack mode. Here he comes. There you go. And he gets it this time. So he's got the attack mode. He'll have the extra pace. But whether he can use it or not is the next question. Race extended by 2 laps. We've got what's going on the screen. There we go. Verne into the lead and now looking at back-to-back victories. And for a DS Penske team that for the first 3 races were nowhere. Cassidy under all sorts of pressure from an angry train of cars behind him. Da Costa is in attack mode. Let's have a look at his sector times. He's 3/10 quicker in the middle sector. He was about a 10th faster in the first sector of this lap. Can I get... It's not showing me sector 3. Well, it is, but also isn't. Oh. Anyway. Da Costa is closing. He's out of attack mode now, but he's right on his former teammate's tail. They've got 12% of energy each. So have Cassidy and Fenestraz. Fenestraz must be absolutely chomping at the bit to get back into 3rd place because he doesn't deserve to be in 4th. He's driven a really tidy race and misfortune has just befallen him at every opportunity, but it's just kept dropping him down the order. Tictum, yet still in P6, doing a good job there.
Disappears up the road, Vern. He's
Always
always,
new tracks somehow. He loves these
Yeah,
new
yeah,
tracks.
he's always having to fight. The rest of this field
Cassidy's really holding that lot up. They're almost 2.5 seconds behind the leading pair now.
with Cassidy third, Fenestraz fourth, Ras Tixon, Van Dorn, Buemi, Lotterer, Hughes, rest of the top 10.
Da Costa got slightly less energy than Vern, but it's only a small point of a percent.
Being told you've got the same SOP, which is state of charge, same battery level basically, as Da Costa. You can see there's 0.2% between them in terms of energy, so it's all just going to be...
Last lap time, both of them doing 11.5s. Cassidy at 12.3, 8/10 a lap slower.
Also, I mentioned they said to Jeb he needs to save on FBK temperature. That's a front regen, so it obviously means he's high on battery temperature.
Da Costa's not going to have this easy because we know from Hyderabad how difficult Vern is to get past, even when he's got a power deficit. Both McLarens up into the points now after a complete disaster in Hyderabad. Hughes up to 10th. Not been a good weekend for Jake Hughes. But Rene Rast up in P5 and potentially... Oh, there goes Fenestraz. He's got past.
Fenestraz into third, he's got ahead of Nick Cassidy.
The Nissan up into third place.
Coming into turn 7, out onto beach road. But he's made the move stick. Rast is going to try and get him.
And Vern defending against
Goes to tail.
Da Costa.
Fenestraz trying to almost lose the slipstream.
They're trying to break the slipstream down into turns 8 and 9. Fenestraz was trying to do the same to block Cassidy.
The end of this one. Vern leading, he's gained 4th place in this
We're
race.
coming up to the added laps.
9.
Well, we're into the added laps. We're on lap 31 as they come across the line, this time on the screen. Here we go. 2 laps to go. And Da Costa really going for it.
Da Costa wants this. He's
I'm
not
going to turn the timing off over here so I can't see anything happen before it does. Buemi gets up past Van Dorn.
He's not in the title hunt. He's only interested in a win here.
Here comes Da Costa, showing his nose to the outside into the chicane. Round the roundabout they go. Well, half of it.
By 4/10 of a second. The gap between them currently is 3/10 of a second.
Vern again feeling the need to defend. He's a little bit out of shape as they come out of the left-hander. Fenestraz leading that train behind now. Here comes Da Costa. He's weaving this way and that. Oh, they're side by side. Oh, he's got it.
He's done it! Oh my god.
That was incredible.
What a farcical move for the leader to K10.
Madness. What bravery.
He deserves. If he wins this race, he absolutely.
My word, what an overtake.
Hits the front for Taco and Porsche.
Van Dorn is dropping down the order a bit more.
But look at this.
Look at this. It's like Mansell and Senna at Monaco, and he's found a way through like Mansell couldn't. He was so close to that wall on the left-hand side. Here we go on board.
This is wild.
Almost into the back of him, then just flies past. Oh, my word. That was incredible.
Felix da Costa is now on the final lap of the race. But what's Vern got to say about it?
Has Vern got a response on the final lap?
2% to go on this final lap. Here's his radio.
What's your margin power last lap now?
He's so chilled. He's so chilled.
Now it's roles reversed as they come down.
Fenestraz
The-
has gone in the wall. Fenestraz has just
Fenestraz has lost third place.
sneaked back him into third. But it's all
Here comes Vern. Can he find a way through? No, Da Costa has got it covered. Fenestraz is dropping down the order. He's out of the points. Da Costa defending from Vern.
Da Costa's fighting Vern off. That might have been the last chance for the Frenchman. It's not going to be back-to-back wins.
They're still fighting for it.
Da Costa into turn 12 through the final corner. Da Costa.
Brilliant win. Antonio Felix Da Costa wins. What a race. That's racing at its finest. We didn't know who was going to win until the final meters of the race. Cassidy takes third. Rene Rast is fourth.
25,000 K turns.
Sebastian Buemi, who was wiped out on the first lap, finishes fifth.
Is this the same podium, same 3 guys that were at the podium?
What a race. What a race.
He deserves every bit of that.
That was superb. Fenestraz has gone into the pits. Oh, I feel so sorry for Fenestraz.
Jack, you're live on TV. That overtake was unreal.
Oh man, looks like after all, and I did learn something from you, mate, from our sim nights. Wow, I've got tears in my eyes because this one's taken. It's been hard, man. It's been hard. Thank you to
Vern gets back-to-back podiums.
thank you.
Former DS Tachita teammates. Of course, sometimes circuits with lots of fast corners, it makes it boring. But this race was okay. Yeah, Aries, I think you're completely right. Towards the end of the race, it really completely took off. And if you had that ability and that bravery, like Da Costa did, he was kind of the only one who made that work. But I think that's the Porsche power unit. It's just got this extra dimension that the others just don't seem to have. P8 for Norman Nato, yeah. That's a good result for Norman Nato. So let's get your race ratings in the chat. Send me your race ratings.
Just shows that the powertrain works well. Him and Cassidy use the Jaguar powertrain. So Fenestraz, I'm sure we'll find out what
Let's see a replay of Fenestraz as well, because he made a big error on the final lap to blow a podium following his first pole.
lap of honour here, isn't he? That's for sure. As he makes his way
So we got. Let's go through the order.
towards the pits.
So we've got Antonio Felix da Costa brilliantly winning the race. Jean-Eric Verne in second with the fastest lap of a 1:09.7. Nick Cassidy in third. René Rast fourth. Sebastian Buemi fifth, even though he was taken out in the opening lap. Hello to Hayden in the chat. My hometown providing a great race. Hope you're doing well. Yep. Thanks, Hayden. Nice to hear from you. How are things back in London with Kiko? Hayden, a former work colleague of mine. So Dan Ticktum in sixth for Neo. Second race in the points for them. Van Dorn seventh. That's a respectable recovery, but he's the world champion, so he should be doing much better. Norman Nato in eighth. Andre Lotterer in ninth. Have they applied his 5-second time penalty yet? Wouldn't look like it. Although Hughes is 6 seconds back in 10th. So maybe Lotterer's going to keep that 9th place. Mitch Evans finishes 11th after his drive-through penalty. Sergio Sette Camera, what happened to him? Did he have a problem? Or was he just not very fast? Jake Dennis also had a drive-through. He finishes 13th. Doesn't capitalise on Verline's failure to finish. Fenestraz blew his podium on the final lap. He finishes last. Max Gunther kind of snuck the lead off of Fenestraz at the first full course yellow, but then crashed out. Eden Mortara broke down, and Pascal Verline was taken out of the race. We haven't seen a replay of Fenestraz's incident yet.
Spoke to Antonio before the start of the race, and he was like, "Oh yeah, we're getting a little." And he said, you don't want to be.
What a race! Let me know your race ratings in the chat.
Thought he was going to have the lead of the race at any point.
That was stunning, absolutely stunning from Felix da Costa.
Hugs all around for Da Costa. We'll be hearing from him in a moment or two, but what a performance from Porsche, and it's another Porsche win from a long way back in the field. Starting
So a fourth Porsche win, and again from quite a way back.
going on. This is the reaction of Florian Modlinger.
World HIV gives the race a 9. Does anyone else match it? What about an 8? Does anyone give it 10? For me, I would give... I'm going to give it a 9.5 because it had pretty much everything you could want. We had a little bit of controversy with the full course yellow. We had a dramatic start. We had several race leaders. So who led the race? We had Fenestraz, Gunther, Cassidy, Verne, Da Costa. Did anybody else lead the race?
Yeah, I think it's a first. I don't have a lot to say. A lot of weight on my shoulders. But
I don't think they did. Just trying to work out if they did or not. But yeah, then we had more drama with Gunther under investigation. We had lots of stewards interference, and of course, a fantastic overtake for the win. What? I mean, he breezed past Cassidy, and then having failed to take attack mode, having missed it, he lost the lead. It looked like all was lost for Antonio Felix da Costa. He's managed to fight his way back past Verne, who didn't make it easy for him, and he's managed to win the race. It's good to see them smiling now, actually, being good chums there.
no, look, it's. I knew it was a bit of a strategic one. I've done this race before where you kind of have to give that lead away, and really plan a late move in the race because the energy was playing a big part, and following it was a little bit of an advantage. So I wanted to be behind him for a few laps, build that energy advantage and use it. But I know leaving it late, it's always a risk. I know Jeff is a very hard guy to overtake. And man, I think that was I thought I was gone for a moment there in T9. So yeah, but super fair from him, and it's good to race him on a day like this.
Stakes were so high, but you were really prepared to give it everything.
I was, yes. There was a moment there in the race where I thought to myself when I missed the attack mode, I thought, okay, now it's gone, we have to finish second. But when I dropped behind him, I could see the energy coming back, and I said, let's go for it, and it's the only way I like to do it.
In one sentence, how would you
Well, HIV with a prediction for my prediction request for my F1 predictions video. I will make sure that is put in, my friend. I'll take a screen grab of that a little bit later on and make sure it's ready to go in. So he's asked who is going to be the class of the midfield in Formula One. There's wow, they almost bumped wheels, and that would have been an aeroplane accident on that back straight. Just showing the replay again, that was stunning, absolutely stunning.
So many hard luck stories today, which we'll get into a little later on. But Jean-Eric Verne, back-to-back podiums, one last time out in Hyderabad, second here today.
Well, Jean-Eric Verne, huge congratulations on the podium at P2. Saw you having a little chat there with Antonio Felix da Costa. So he was there and he didn't realise he was there. Talk us through.
I mean, I'm very happy for him. He did a fantastic race, very good move as well, and I'm very happy with my race. Second is good, it's good points, good for the championship, and yeah, I'm just very frustrated. It's been, I don't know how many races we complain about those mirrors that we don't see anything, they are so dangerous, and I generally didn't see him coming, so well done to him, he used that to his advantage. Yeah, I'm a bit frustrated, of course.
Yeah, I mean, but you didn't give up. I mean, seriously, attacking on the final lap, it looked like you almost had it.
Yeah. I mean, it was close, but there are some risks that I'm willing to take and some not. And I think in the view of the championship, I want to take the points of the second place rather than a crash. So yeah, I'm a bit in between, but I'm at the end of the championship. I'm going to be happy on that race.
Take the 18 points today. Thanks very much, Jean-Eric Verne.
Okie dokie. So let's switch scenes. And that's going to bring this live stream to an end. Just going to enjoy the overtake. Well, they were going to show us the overtake, but they're just showing us some little highlights. I think of Vern's race because he's got the fastest lap. That's going to bring this live stream to an end. A little announcement. I'm going to be going live next Saturday for the Bahrain Grand Prix qualifying session for a watch along live on this channel. So if it's not just Formula E you're into, and it is Formula One as well, which I'm sure lots of you are, then come and join me next Saturday for Bahrain qualifying watch along. So decided to do qualifying rather than a race because the race, there's a lot going on. I have to write a report on it, so that is a little bit more to make sure I take into consideration. So qualifying, most qualifyings I'll do a watch along depending on like life commitments and stuff like that. So next week we'll be live on this channel for another watch along. Thank you very much for joining me this afternoon. What a cracking race. Absolutely, it had everything. So if you're watching later on, or you're just going to miss the end of the live stream, leave a comment with your race rating and your thoughts on that overtake by Antonio Felix da Costa. A stunning race-winning move. But yeah, thanks for joining me. I'll see you all again very soon. Give the live stream a big thumbs up for me. Like and subscribe for more Grand Prix content. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you again very soon. Bye-bye for now.